I'm Giorgio Vasquez. I am a legislative staffer. I like Progress Texas because it is my one-stop shop every single morning to get the news that prepares me for the day. I feel like, every day when I listen to Progress Texas, I'm learning how to respond to this Republican assault on our education, on our healthcare, on our entire way of life. You guys are doing the amazing work of putting together all this news and leading the resistance. I just can't thank you guys enough for doing all the hard work that it takes to go all over this huge, amazing state and do the work that you guys do. It's really fantastic.
It's Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Not only record-breaking heat, but downright dangerous heat is expected to hit South and Central Texas as of today and will keep the hammer down for several days, it would appear at the very least. San Antonio is at the epicenter of this potentially historic heat wave, and Candace Avila Garcia at mysanantonio.com writes that highs are likely to hit 105 today and tomorrow in San Antonio, and that heat indexes will be around 107. That's just for starters. National Weather Service is seeing the rest of the month of May as record-breaking territory. The Alamo City's all-time record for any day in May is 104 degrees. That's looking pretty likely to fall. Strangely enough, and speaking from my own experience working in broadcast media, this is something you may or may not have noticed, but most mass media meteorologists, your weather people on the TV news, are going to tend to shy away from talking about climate change as a factor in any individual weather event, partly due to the politics and partly due to the fact that our climate is degrading gradually over time, measurable but gradual. But we do get close with a quote from Chief Meteorologist Travis Herzog, who works for ABC 13 in Houston. He says, quote, "Here's the part that gets me. Most of our computer models are throwing out even hotter numbers than what you see here. Either the models are broken or something in the climate broke, because the extreme scenario they're painting is way out of bounds for this early in the calendar year," unquote. This time yesterday, everybody seemed pretty bullish about the power grid being able to withstand this unnervingly early test. Today, there's a bit of wavering out there. San Antonio Express News pointing out that we have a high number of gas-powered generating plants that are down for seasonal maintenance right at the moment. Normal for May in normal May temperatures, which puts ERCOT in a precarious position when normal ain't so normal anymore. About 20,000 megawatts of generation for the Texas grid from plants fueled by natural gas or coal are offline right now. And ERCOT issued a fresh warning to the power market since we last talked yesterday about that shaky situation. Dr. Michael Weber, energy resources professor at UT Austin, says he's optimistic, but only due to the specific circumstances, that if Dallas and Houston were as firmly caught in this heat wave as San Antonio and Austin will be, that the entire state would be in a world of hurt. He also points to another saving grace we just happen to be blessed with this time, and that's expanded solar generation and battery storage that's come online since the last such big test. Brandy Addison at the Austin American-Statesman reminds us that extreme heat is the deadliest weather-related hazard in the United States. It kills more Americans each year than hurricanes, floods, or tornadoes. And that hazard is only continuing to worsen. Everybody stay hydrated, avoid outdoor activity during the hottest parts of the day, wear light clothing, and importantly, check on our more vulnerable folks, including our elderly loved ones and neighbors, and anybody else who might have mobility challenges or are living alone. Through all of this, the dance continues at the Capitol. Houston Public Media says time is running out for any House bills or joint resolutions that haven't passed out of committee yet. As of today, any that haven't made it to a calendar or gotten a second reading on the House floor by Thursday are effectively dead for this session. One bill we've been concerned about did make the general state calendar yesterday, House Bill 32, which we've talked about extensively. It's been disguised and spun as an anti-squatting bill, with several mainstream news sources in Texas covering it as such. Sloppy work, y'all. In effect, it will make it a lot easier for your landlord to kick you out of any home that you may be renting in Texas over the smallest of issues. HB 32 didn't manage a vote yesterday, but today's a new day. Renters, time's almost up to stand up for your right to keep a roof over your head. Meanwhile, here at deadline time, HB 2, the second step in the so-called Texas two-step, taking care of expanded funding for Texas public schools now that Governor Abbott has his private school vouchers via SB 2, remains untouched this morning since it was referred to the Senate Committee on Education back on April 23rd. As of tomorrow, that's 3 weeks ago. As we wind down this morning, we head to D.C. actually to talk about another new threat that's rising against the nonprofit groups who do so much hard work fighting back against disinformation, injustice, and the slide towards authoritarianism in the second Trump era, including ours here at Progress Texas. The National Council of Nonprofits issued a warning yesterday that the House Ways and Means Committee's draft tax legislation released yesterday contains language similar to that we saw in House Bill 9495 late last year that would grant the Trump administration unprecedented authority to revoke nonprofit status from organizations without due process. This would basically allow the executive branch to arbitrarily shut down any nonprofit they choose based on ideological grounds. It's slated for a committee vote today. And if it passes as is, the National Council of Nonprofits expects it to be combined into other legislation before it hits the House floor for a vote as soon as next Monday. If you appreciate not only what we do at Progress Texas, but all the tremendous work done on behalf of democracy by the likes of PBS, NPR, ProPublica, the Texas Tribune, public broadcasting operations across Texas, including KERA in Dallas, KUT in Austin, Texas Public Radio, Houston Public Media, and more, today is the day to call your representatives in D.C. to remind them to protect nonprofit media. NCN in their press release says the best chance to stop this appears to be in the U.S. Senate, and we all know that Cruz and Cornyn aren't listening. Here's where we hit up more politically friendly senators from other states, as this is a threat of national scale. In our opinion, nonprofit media is the last meaningful barrier standing against right-wing disinformation. If you agree, please do this now. DFW and North Texas friends, please mark your calendars for Monday, June the 9th. That's when we'll be celebrating our 15th anniversary in Dallas. Links to become a supporter of the party and to secure your tickets are up now at ProgressTexas.org. We want to shout out our generous event sponsors: Howard Cleon, Charles Zeller, Pamela Pearson, Alex Andrade, Carol Taylor, Chuck Cruz, Amy Forehand, John Mazzaro, the Texas Progressive Caucus, Alexander and Katie Clark, and many more. Thanks all y'all for the support. We look forward to seeing you again. 15 years of progress in Dallas, Monday, June 9th. Hope to see y'all there. Tickets and sponsorship opportunities now at ProgressTexas.org. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the conservative disinformation machine, but they far outmatch us in funding. Oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups spend a lot of money keeping their audiences in the dark. If you've come to appreciate the light that we shine on important political news in Texas on a daily, ongoing basis, please know that our regular, everyday listeners form a key component of our funding. If that's you, we could use your support as a monthly contributor, and no amount is too small. Go to ProgressTexas.org/donate. Thanks to David Griggs, David Sauer, and Doug Beaton, all of whom are on the team. We appreciate all of y'all very, very much. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit, rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks for listening. Take care and stay cool out there, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning.